I've been asked if I'd model another medical laboratory in Blender 2.8, so I found this vector image and I find it interesting, and so I'm going to do my best to model this for you. I'll provide a link to the image if you want to model along with me. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off just simply with this little room here, and I'm going to create this wall here that would have the glass in it. Notice it's a little bit thinner than the floor, and we'll create that. So one of the key things we need to do is make sure that all of these parts are of equal thickness, okay, the gray area. So all right, so I'm going to select everything and delete, and I want to switch to cycles and use my GPU compute. I'm going to look from the front, and I'm going to bring in a plane. All right, and I do want to have this on. I'm going to rotate X 90 and bring it up. I'm going to go into edit mode, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn on snap to increment and absolute grid snap, and I'm going to grab these vertices and I'm going to pull them down and just start to get the height that I want, and it's snapping. So let's say I want something like that height, okay. And then in terms of width, I'm going to scale this in the X out maybe to there, like that, and I'll grab these and I'll just make sure they snap to that grid unit there. So in that area, I would need to get all of this stuff. Okay, now I'm actually going to take this in the front view. I'm going to pull it back because I just want to create this glass area here, and I'm going to be copying it. So I want to get the size that I want, and it is pretty square, and so that would probably work. Okay, everything is snap. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring in an edge loop, click like that, and then bring it up, and I'm going to start zooming in. And I've decided that I want to use 4 little boxes as my spacing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it snaps to there. So I've got 4 spaces. I'm going to do the same thing all the way around. So bring that over and bring it to 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's when you move it that it tends to snap. All right, is that 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to switch to face selection 3, and I'm going to delete that face. I'm going to actually go into wireframe and vertex. I like working in that. So look at this and say, okay, is that what I like for my glass area? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy this in order to make these other pieces, and then we'll shorten them. I'm going to switch over to snapping to edge, and I'm going to go Shift D, pull it over, and then drag it back and hover my mouse over the outside edge. Okay, now this is thicker than this, but don't worry about that right now. Now I'm going to box select this, and I'm going to pull it, and we're going to decide on a width for the glass. It's pretty narrow, probably about 6 or 7 or 8 of those make up that area. So I'm going to bring it to, I might bring it to there, zoom in and pull, and try to get it to snap. Well, in order to do that, we're going to switch back to increment and choose a width, something like that. I like that. Okay, so this will be my main glass. It'll be a small part, and then we'll do something about this. Select a little piece of this and go Control L, and let's switch back to edge snapping. Shift D, copy it, bring it out. I'm going to move it, and I'm going to hover my mouse over this edge here. So I'm moving it in the X, and then I do that. Once again, this is thick, but don't worry about that. I'm going to box select this area, and now we're going to create the door region, which is about, I don't know, 3 or 4 times the width of that glass area. Okay, I am going to be switching to increment. Just pull it out and decide what you think looks good. It is going to be smaller than this area though. So if that's going to be the glass, what if the door was? No, I think I like it there. Let's maybe pull it out to an even. Sure, why not? Okay. Go back to the glass region, select a piece, and Control L to copy it. Shift D, bring it out. And then we'll switch back to edge snapping. And we'll pull it in and snap it to there. So I've got my main glass, my small glass, my doors, and my small glass. Main glass, small glass, doors, and small glass. Okay, now, I used 4 for my spacing here. And so now what we're going to do is this. I'm going to box select those vertices and those. And I actually have 8 spaces, so I'm just going to bring this in. I'm going to make sure I switch to increment. And I'm going to scale X 1, 2, and we should start getting some snapping going on here. Sometimes you have to zoom in a level before it'll snap for you. Let's box select these ones and these ones, and we'll do the same thing. And by the way, put it on scale, okay? That'll make it snap better. Scale X 1 and right to there. Okay, so I got 4 units there. I'm going to come back to this one over here because it didn't feel like it snapped very well, and so we'll make sure that's on scale there. SX, there we go, snaps. Let's turn that off. We gotta do this one. Take it back, turn it back on. Okay, SX on. There we go, 4 units. Okay, and so now we should have what we need. What I'd like to do, and I'm going to turn that off just to check. I'm going to take this piece, Shift D, I'm going to copy it over to here, and I just want to see. Alright, so we have that one, which is not quite the right length yet. You can see if I put that down there, I need to move this stuff out a little bit, right? If I put that there, I need to move these out by 2. So I'm going to do that. So let's go back into vertex selection and snapping to increment. And I'm going to grab the whole thing. Right, and I'm going to move it out. GX, right to there. All right, if we want to double check, we can take this piece, Shift D, and drag it over. And it fits right in there. All right, everybody is playing nicely. Now I'm going to take this in the top view. I'm going to turn snap to increment back on. And I am going to extrude this 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces backwards like that. Now that may not be thick enough, and so we'll actually go with these boxes. Like that. Okay. That's what I really wanted to do. And there is our section. And then what we'll do to make the floor is we'll come in here and I will select that vertex and the outer one over here. If I can get it. I'll turn off snapping for now. I lost my vertices. Just the outer ones. Shift D. I'm just going to pull them out. P to make a new object. I'll go into them. Select them and go F to make a face. I'm going to turn snap to, I think I'll turn snap to edge on. All right, and I'm going to push them back and snap them to there. And then I'm going to turn on snap to increment. Look from the top. E to extrude. I'm going to pull it out, and then just decide on how far out you want your floor. Okay, so I've come out sort of a full square. I'm going to come out maybe another half or so. Does that look okay? Like a rectangle. Okay, like this. Let's start with that. I'm going to select it, look from the side. I came out 4 units here. I'm going to come out 6. E to extrude. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because the floor is a little thicker in the diagram than the wall is. Okay. Great. Let's turn off snapping for the moment. Let's just do that. Set the origin of geometry on the floor. Shift D. Pull it out. Rotate Y 90. And pull it back. We're going to set up snap to edge. I'm going to look from the front, and I'm just going to bring it up. And bring it and hover your mouse over until you get it to snap where you want. I want it to snap on the bottom. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to turn off snapping. And I come in and I'm going to select all the top vertices and pull it down below here. You can see it's below. And to whatever height you think is reasonable. And that is the basic room that we're going to be using. Okay? And then we'll put some doors in there. So what I could do for that is we could come in here and I could take, let's say, this face. All right? And I could go Shift D. There it is. P to break it out. Select that object, set origin and geometry. Go in, I'm going to push it back. I'm going to make it narrower, scale this in the Y, right in the middle. Start extruding it out as a door. Push it back a little. And what we'll do is we will set the origin right there. Shift S, cursor selected. Object, set origin to the 3D cursor, and then we can mirror this. Okay, now I just want to have a little bit of a separation. I'm going to scale these in the X a little bit more so they fit. Let's get this. Get this in place like that. Okay, now I'm going to come in. I'm going to grab that face and pull it out a little bit. We'll start to get a separation. Hold Shift. Okay, now I'm going to come in. I'm going to put an edge loop here, I think. And I'm just going to select that face. And I'm just going to extrude it a little bit. Which way did it go? Did it come out? Yeah, it should be coming out. But under there still. Let's put on a bevel. And then we'll be able to see it a little bit better. Let's start with that. We can scale these in the Z just to make sure that it's in. Okay. So I might do something a little bit different. So I think I'm going to come in here and put a couple of edge loops. Pull them up. I'm going to scale these in the Z. And I'll put another couple of edge loops like this and scale in the X. I'll make like a little window here. Not like a window, we will make a window. All right, in face selection, grab that face and this face, and I'll go Control E, bridge edge loops. I'm going to do that again because I don't like the width of this. So in edge selection, I'm going to select all that and bring it in. And I don't like it so close. There we go. So I'll grab both of those faces and Control E, bridge edge loops. It looks a bit better because of that piece. This piece that juts out plus that is kind of equal to that. So we could do that, and then we could come in and I could bring in another edge loop, maybe here and here, and then just in face selection, select that face. You might have to inset. I'm going to inset it just a tiny bit like that, and then I'm going to, not that, and then I'm going to extrude it in to make it a little depression. You can scale this in the X if you want to create a bit of a bevel there. It might be a little close, isn't it? That's what I was thinking about. So, all right. So what we'll do instead is we'll just put another edge loop here, and we'll just do our handle right there. Okay, I can just extrude it in now. Oh, did I not extrude? E to extrude and pull it in. At this point, you can actually scale it in all directions if you want to. You'll get that. That's a little bit better. We'll do a little bit more here. We'll come in here. We'll put, say, 3 edge loops and scale those in the Z a little bit. And then I'm going to take these pieces here. No, I'm going to select the whole things. And Control B to bevel. I just want that. And then I'm going to take the middle pieces. Like that. Oh, not that one. This one. And then we'll extrude them in as well. Just to do that kind of thing. So we have some doors now. And if I need to, I can scale these in the X. Fit. And there's also a piece in here. You can see right there. I don't know what that is. Oh, and there's a piece in there too. How about that? So let's do something about that. Let's come in here and we'll take this face. Shift D. All right. P to break it out. Select it again if at all possible. Let's hide this and hide this. Take that. Set the origin to geometry. Because I'm on 3D. No, I'm not. All right. There we go. Just move it up a bit, Alt H, so I can reselect it. There we go. Select it. Scale this in the Y. It's some kind of thin thing. I don't know what it is exactly. Just put it way down there, and I'll extrude it up. How high does it go? That one's pretty low. And then there's another one. Let's select this again and scale this in the Y. There's that in there. And then I'm going to take this and copy it. And bring it in here. And scale in the X. I'll just make it a bit wider and make sure I select the top. And this guy goes up to about 1/3 of the height, maybe, or something like that. All right, so we've made a start on our room. It's questionable if we want to try putting a bevel on these things. So let's say we did this and then this. Control L mod up. No, not that. Oh, I'm hitting every wrong key tonight. Control L modifiers. Do I? I don't need the mirror. Yeah, and I don't need the mirror on that as well. there's the beginning of our first room. We can still change the size of this if need be, if we need more floor space for this, but I think we're in decent shape. Okay, good stuff.